Today in the test kitchen, we're showing you our favorite ways to make eggs.
You can put it in your own natural way.
That was my natural way.
Oh God, I'm nervous.
That's the best way to make an egg.
Eggs are one of my favorite things to eat.
I probably eat like eggs practically every day.
Eggs are nutritious, delicious.
Just so versatile.
Instant meal.
Such a quick and easy way to have like protein, fat.
They're very important to me.
In the morning, I want my eggs. I want them quick, and I also want them in a breakfast taco. I'm gonna do really high heat scrambled eggs. Simple, easy. You can do it half asleep in the morning, as I do. Slice some scallions. I like just a little bit of scallion because it gives you like sharpness. Next up, avocado. Be careful when you do this. Let's get our eggs going. I'm just gonna do 2 eggs. When you're stirring your eggs, you wanna make sure that you are being firm but gentle. All right, we're looking good. If you're making scrambled eggs, salt goes in there first. That way every single bite is seasoned and it tastes delicious. Get this pan over medium heat. Actually, we're gonna go medium-high heat. A little bit of olive oil in there. And then the scallions that I was talking about. We're not gonna caramelize these. Just get them cooked through, sweat them out a little bit. Let our pan heat up to a really high heat, and then throw our eggs in. In the meantime, we're gonna toast a couple tortillas. Direct contact to the flame. I want like a nice char on them. So that pan's super hot. This, we're gonna be constantly stirring, but like big, broad strokes. The eggs are gonna be ready in probably like 15 seconds. All right, take it off the heat before they're finished. Let's see, look, we have those like big folded curds instead of those tiny little soft curds. This is gonna go right in there. And then we're gonna do avocado, a little bit of lime juice, and a little bit of Cholula green, because that's my favorite hot sauce. Not dry at all, super quick cooked eggs, creamy, texture, fat, acid, it's all there. I'm gonna make these for breakfast tomorrow morning.
So I'm gonna make really, really, really soft scrambled eggs, the way that I grew up eating eggs. My dad's not French, but it's like a very Frenchy sort of, just really low and slow, a lot of stirring. Non-stick pan, which is really important for eggs like these. I'm gonna put this on just really low heat. We're using 3 eggs. You wanna beat these eggs really, really, really well, so they're fully, fully incorporated. You don't wanna see any streaks of white or yolk in there. A pinch of salt in there. I'm gonna take about 3 tablespoons of this butter. It's a lot of butter, that's a tablespoon per egg, and we're gonna put a little bit more in too at the end. And so we're just pretty much gonna wait until this butter is melted and just when it starts to foam. So, you know, there are like different schools of thought when it comes to scrambled eggs. Some people like a hot and fast scramble. I prefer kind of like almost like a cottage cheese texture to my egg. So it's by cooking it really slowly and just stirring it constantly, you get kind of curds. All right, so we're seeing like a little bit of bubbling. I don't need this to get like totally foamy, but I'm just gonna start this process. And you can kind of see that there are curds starting to form. I don't want at any point the entire bottom to firm up. We're getting close. I'm gonna turn the heat off now. Just kind of let the residual heat cook them the rest of the way. Then I'm gonna take this last bit of butter, break it into a few pieces, and let that kind of melt in. Super soft, just until the butter melts. Kind of looks like polenta almost. And then I just want to take a little bit of flaky salt on top. These can take a fair amount of salt just because they're so buttery. A couple of chives, soft scrambled eggs. Texture is really, really soft, really silky. Tastes like eggs and butter. It's not eggs cooked with a little bit of butter, it's eggs and butter together.
I'm gonna make some, you know, a little, I like doing it. It's like a mastery. It's like a little, I find zen in making it. It's like a buttery French omelet. Slightly custardy in the center. That's what we're gonna go for. 3 eggs into the bowl. And then you're just gonna make them nice. Whisk them up real nice. Feel good about that. And so I'm gonna make sure my pan's hot. I put it on a little low, medium low. All right, I'm just gonna start melting a little butter in there, and then we'll adjust. Turn the heat up a little bit. Nice. All right, butter's our friend. Okay. Bang. I like to bang it, kind of pop some of the air bubbles. I don't know if that does anything, but it makes me feel good. So I like to start high and then turn it off to low. All right, here goes nothing, huh? No turning back now. Oh, God. All right, we'll do a nice little cookie cook in the middle. Right off the bat, I'm seeing a little bit of white still. Not ideal. But I think we're going to be all right. Wouldn't be the first time I pissed the French off, you know? So you want to get this nice and jammy. And then I like to just swirl it around, too. That's my trick. I like to swirl it around the outsides like a weird little crepe. Helps it cook quicker, too, you know? I'm not fooling around. Using the pan to cook it. Oh, God, I'm nervous. And then we'll finish it with a little butter, too, to kind of help everything go nice. A little zhuzh, zhuzh, zhuzh. All right, just a quick little release on the outsides. Okay, off the heat. Put a little butter underneath it. Oh, God. Oh, God. You know? I'm into it. I don't know if the French would be, but it's gonna work out just fine. It's gonna be tasty. Boom. There's your Brad omelet. Yeah, we'll just do a little bit of salt on it. Maybe a little pepper, I don't care. The moment of truth. Yeah, I'm all right with that. You know? It ain't perfect, but neither am I. But look, it ain't overcooked. It's not burned by any means. No browning. Custody, uniform. Oh!
I love poached eggs, always have, always will. People think they're hard, they're not hard. There's no frying, there's no splattering, there's no sunny side upping. You just get like a beautifully cooked situation. So I'm gonna crack 2, even though I might only need 1. Doing more than 2 in the same pot of water, though, is kind of a challenge. I have a pot of boiling water over here. This is extra, but I'm gonna make a vortex, which when you drop the egg in, is just gonna help it have a nice round shape, so it'll hit there and kind of swirl around instead of just sinking flat. This will be pretty effective with the first one, but a little bit harder to pull off for the second. I'm gonna get the other guy in here. You can see all of those strands of egg white is normal. The egg white is setting, and it's just a different texture and consistency than the yolk. It's not a big deal. It's not going to affect like the way your egg tastes, but it will affect the way that it looks. So I would get rid of any of those strandy bits. Kind of gives it this like octopus vibe. I don't put vinegar in the water. I don't think it's really does what people say that it does, and it also can give your egg kind of a sour flavor, which I don't really care for. I'm taking these out. So I just put it on the paper towel. The best way to enjoy a poached egg is on an English muffin. Everybody knows that. And then here's my egg. Okay, this is my perfect poached egg and English muffin. See, perfect. Yolk runneth over.
But my ideal thing is to basically, you know, it's a fried egg, so you get to set those whites into kind of lacy, crispy edges. That really kind of makes the egg, to me, as delicious as possible. So when you guys weren't looking, I cranked the heat on this thing so that we'd walk over to a hot skillet. So this is olive oil. I'm using a generous amount. See how it's smoking? That's exactly what I want. Like all the best cooking, there is a little bit of an element of danger here. You know, the water content of the white is going to throw off, you know, some sort of spattering. This is more of a back pocket spoon kind of deal. You want like a big spoon to baste with. And at this point, I like to kind of separate the 2 eggs just so that we have like 2 distinct eggs as opposed to 1 mono egg. See how like already that laciness is starting to happen? I'm just gonna use a little bit of the oil to baste the white to make it set. I find like this can go so fast that I don't even bother to lower the heat. I just take the eggs off of the heat. Yeah, so this is it. The whites are incredibly crispy, lacy, and set. The yolk is still plenty oozy and jammy. This is the kind of egg that I want most of the time, frankly. I'm all about this. Like, you know, all that crackly crispiness, I'm here for it. You can't argue with that.
I just want to say that Amiel stole my favorite way to make eggs, which is soft scramble. So then I had to go with my second favorite, which is a medium boil. So I love a medium boil because the yolk is not dry, but it's not so hard to control and like running all over the place. All right, so this water is boiling. I like to plunge them in room temp, not only because it gives me a better idea of how they're gonna cook, but also because they're less likely to crack when they hit the water. I'll kind of gently place them in like that. And then that's it. Come back in 7 minutes. It's really like 6 minutes for a soft-boiled egg and upwards of 8, 9, 10 minutes for a hard-boiled egg, depending on how dry you like the yolk. So I think 7 minutes is like a good sweet spot. And we have a minute. Okay, let's just stand here for a minute, silently. 30 seconds? 40. Oh my God.
Down 35.
Ice bath. Sometimes I just do it in the sink under cold water. Okay, so these are still hot, but crack them to peel them. I like to crack all over. And then I like to get a little bit of water in there after I crack it because I feel like the water gets kind of under that membrane. So pretty good looking egg. It's really, I can feel it. It's very wobbly. Actually, that's pretty good. That's pretty nice. It's somewhere between a medium boil and a soft boil. And then just a little flaky salt. So the yolk is set everywhere except for the very center where it's a little bit runny. So I actually really like this doneness. There's a ring where it's dry on the outside. I like that you get all those different textures. And most importantly, the white is set, because I never really want to eat an egg if the white isn't set. It's the world's best breakfast.
I'm gonna make something that I call the molly egg, which is basically a fried egg that gets cooked so gently in the pan that you don't develop any color or any sort of crispiness, so it's sort of like the anti-crispy fried egg. I made that name up because I used to work at a restaurant in Brooklyn called Allswell, and we had a mushroom toast on the menu there, and it was this like thick slice of bread that was really crispy and was fried, and then we had mushrooms on top of that, and I always used to cook my eggs super gently on top, and so it became known as the molly egg there. Okay, so you could use any kind of fat, really. I'm not going to use butter just because I actually don't want the milk solids to brown, because that's going to impart flavor and color into the white. So I'm just going to do a little bit of olive oil, heat it up a little bit, but I'm not looking to get this oil ripping hot by any means. Cracking right into a still relatively cold pan. I'm over medium-low heat. Gonna season my egg with salt and just let time do the rest. You'll see it's very slowly beginning to turn opaque. This is different from a fried egg because the pan is never gonna get hot enough to develop any color on the egg or any sort of lacy, crispy edges. I can see it starting to sputter a little bit at the edges, so I'm gonna turn it down. The end game is a very liquidy molten yolk. So we're done. And then a little bit of pepper. The molly egg. So it's cooked all the way through, but it's quite floppy and really soft. The white is very nicely cooked because it doesn't get hit hard in the pan. Very pleasant on the palate. There's a time and a place for a crispy egg, and there's a time and a place for a molly egg.
I didn't like eggs for the majority of my upbringing. I thought they were really gross. Basically, when I was a kid, my mom discovered one way to prepare eggs that we all really loved. We realized what we didn't like about the eggs was the yolk. Like, the yolk just tasted so, like, intense and eggy to us. I know that this is gonna sound blasphemous to people because they're like, oh my God, runny yolk, it's so great. I'm just gonna say it, I think runny yolks are totally overrated. If I could only eat eggs one way for the rest of my life, it would be chopped up whites with salt and pepper. Say what you want, come at me. This is just how I feel. You're just gonna bring your water to a boil, add your eggs. The beauty of this is because you don't really care about the yolk. You're scooping it out. You don't have to do that like crazy intense, like, I'm gonna time this for 6.5 minutes to get a perfectly runny yolk. Like, it's okay. You can do 6 minutes, you can do 8 minutes. All right, so my water is boiling. I'm gonna put these in. Be careful. And yeah, maybe like 7 minutes. We'll say 7 minutes. So eggs are done. So we're just gonna take them out, put them in an ice bath for like a hot second until they're easier to peel. Oh my God, this is such a throwback. I usually eat yogurt for breakfast. Like, I'm not much of an egg eater, but I'm so excited to eat these eggs. Okay, I find peeling eggs very relaxing. Wow. These are beautiful. All right, so now we're just gonna have them. and then you just scoop this part out. I was this close to making scrambled eggs, but I was like, you know what? A lot of people have opinions about scrambling. You know what people don't have opinions about? This dish that my mom, I guess, made up and probably doesn't exist in real life. And now we're literally just gonna chop these up. Now for the peppering. It's like pepper with a side of eggs is the strategy here. And then salt. Oh my God, this is so good. It's just got like a nice pleasant bounce, but it's not like gelatinous. This is a great way to get like kids to eat breakfast, but also me to eat breakfast.
So the way I'm gonna cook these eggs is I'm gonna fry them in bacon fat. This is the kind of the more of the special occasion egg in place of a poached egg. So like if you're gonna make a salad, this is a way to kind of like dirty it up a little bit. So I've got the heat on, I've got this pan on high. You really need this pan ripping hot. I'm gonna use a decent amount of fat. The egg isn't gonna absorb the fat. You'll probably get some of the fat in the little craggy edges and the egg will bubble up. Okay, so we're smoking. So I'm going to just crack this, move it around a little. I'm going to turn that way down. I'm going to turn it off now. And all these little craggy bits will be a little bit crunchy, which I kind of like. I'm kind of swooshing up some of the oil onto the unset white just to kind of give that a little helping hand. I've still got like nice runny yolk. I mean, who wouldn't love this breakfast? I mean, it's just bacon and eggs, very simple, but it's just a beautiful, crispy, yet runny egg. Just give it a little sprinkle of salt, crack a pepper. My really simple but really delicious eggs fried in bacon fat. It's amazing how much of the bacon flavor actually comes through with the eggs. It just holds onto that flavor. It's a really great way to use up the drippings in your pan. If you're making bacon for a crowd, just drop some eggs in there. It takes literally about a minute.
So I'm gonna make a classic French omelet. I think it's the best way to have an egg because it's like an entree egg, you know? It's a great meal. You need at least 3 eggs to get it to properly roll up for you, and I'm gonna be doing it in a 6-inch nonstick skillet. Don't even try this if you don't have a nonstick. You're just gonna make yourself sad. Contrary to what old chefs tell you, you definitely want to season your eggs first. It's the only way to make sure it's like totally seasoned through. It's not going to make them tough. That's one of those lies. Make sure you mix it really well. The salt makes the proteins uncoagulate, so it actually makes them more tender. You don't want any streaks of white. This takes longer than you think. So I'm using a 6-inch non-stick skillet, about a tablespoon of butter. You want to start it on like medium high, and melt the butter, and once it's foamy, I'm gonna turn the heat down to medium-low and put the eggs in. I also really like this tiny spatula. This like angle here is gonna really help us get underneath the eggs. Now our butter is nice and melted, starting to get a little foamy. Now I'm gonna turn the heat down and add our eggs. So if you can do a nice soft scramble, you can do an omelet, because an omelet is just a scramble that you set a little bit further. Once you get your eggs in there, you just wanna vigorously move so we get nice small curds. The good thing about a French omelet like this too is it's so creamy that you don't need cheese or anything. If you make it right, it tastes like there's like a lot going on. But it does take a little bit of practice just to know when the eggs are set. But you know, even if you don't get it perfect, it's still good, and they're eggs. It's an easy, cheap technique to practice. But you can see it's getting creamier and thicker and almost like custardy. That's just what you want. So now we're getting thicker and thicker. Now we're almost at the point to stop stirring. Now you want to spread it along the bottom of the pan. All right, I think we're there. Time to turn it out. Now we're going to roll it up. Start from where your handle is, because you're going to use the pan to help you tilt it out because it is so fragile and so delicate. And then once you get it rolled up 2/3 of the way and tilt it out of the pan. Woo. And here's my French omelet. It's like totally tender, just barely set, no color at all. Classic French omelet, you want no color. When you cut into it, it should be really creamy on the inside. Check it out. It's almost like there's like cheese in there, but it's just from the egg being nice and saucy. So it's super tender. It's the perfect egg, the perfect entree egg. All you need is a salad.